There's a really big difference between wanting to feel safe and grounded in your body and actually feeling safe and grounded in your body. If you look at these two photos, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell that in the one on the left, I'm actually dealing with chronic stress and unresolved trauma patterns, and I'm still really struggling to come home to myself physically. You can't really tell from looking on the outside, and this photo was taken a long time after I started my healing journey. Maybe you've discovered that this is happening for you too. You're already on your healing path, you've done a ton of really good work, and yet it almost feels like this invisible saboteur is interrupting your progress. And no matter how far you feel like you've gotten, trauma patterns and chronic stress and anxiety and this inner sense of not feeling safe in your body keep pulling you back. The good news is, you're not broken, there's nothing wrong with you, and you're not crazy. You, as you continue to move forward, also have to update your nervous system. Before you do that, your nervous system gets stuck in old patterns. So until you start to resolve and work through those old patterns, you're going to stay stuck. I'm here to tell you, though, you can resolve those patterns. You can definitely feel safe and at home in your body again. And here's how you're going to do it. First thing you got to do is understand your nervous system and understand the difference between your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. So your sympathetic nervous system, this is your activation. I'm going to protect myself. I'm in a state of emergency. I'm on nervous system. Things like your adrenaline and your cortisol kick up when you're in sympathetic. This can be something as fun as like you're at the gym and you're lifting and you're out and you're running and it feels great, or this can be as high key as my body thinks I'm in danger because I dealt with abuse in my household, or I dealt with a really, really intense traumatic event in my life that's still stuck in my body. Then you get into overactivated sympathetic nervous system, and this can cause things like chronic fatigue, hypertension in your muscles, really disrupted digestion and inability to digest food properly. You can experience heightened alertness, so you're really jumpy, you're always kind of on edge. You may feel that you develop a low or high level dose of insomnia. You might have chronically short breath or a hard time taking deep, full belly breaths. All of these things mean that you're stuck in a sympathetic nervous system state. So essentially, your body is registering danger at all times. So even if you're, and this would happen to me constantly, hanging out with friends or with your partner or walking down the street and just having a good day, you still feel slightly off, slightly agitated, slightly jumpy, because you're not fully in the moment. You're not fully calm and present. You're in an overactivated sympathetic nervous system state. The parasympathetic nervous system, by contrast, is your rest, your digest, your intuit, your relaxation state. This is the nervous system state that you actually do want to be in majority of the time as you move through your life. You can recognize this state by things like deep belly breaths, really great digestion, a sense of sleepiness or relaxation, a nice, slow, steady heart rate, muscle relaxation, no tightness, no tension, no holding, creative inspiration. Like I said, you intuit, your brain, your gut connection is strong, you're digesting, you're intuiting, you're feeling creatively excited, creatively channeled. And also social connection is very alive here. It's easy for us to make eye contact, to connect, to engage. You can think of it as like an open-hearted state. The parasympathetic state is trusting, it's receiving. Once you understand the symptoms, sympathetic, quick heart rate, short breaths, tension, bad digestion, parasympathetic, open, deep belly breaths, connection, sleepiness, muscle relaxation, creativity, you can become aware of when you are in one state versus the other. And this is going to be the keys to the castle of you. Say it all the time, but it's true. Understanding the state that you're in will give you the opportunity to take the helm once more and start to re-regulate or down-regulate. Which brings us to step number 2, which is down-regulating. Down-regulating is essentially shifting yourself out of sympathetic or activated and into parasympathetic and relaxed. How you do this, couple of different techniques. 1, deep belly breathing. So diaphragmatic breathing, big inhales, exhales. Letting that exhale be longer than the inhale creates a sense of ease, a sense of rest, and a sense of relaxation. Find that inhale, that exhale, create that space. Take 4 rounds, 5 rounds. Do this a few times a day. This is something that you want to build into your daily practice. Somatic shaking and movement is another excellent way to downregulate. The Body Keeps the Score is a great book on this. It talks all about how essentially the body holds on to these systems of trauma long after we think we've resolved them through things like talk therapy or dialogue with family or friends. The soma is holding on to these memories, the fascia, the muscles, everything is holding until we release. So somatic shaking really, really helps your body to move stagnant, stuck energy, shift out, feel a little endorphin boost as you move, just get a little wiggle going. It's so beneficial for your body. It's activating. It can also stimulate that sense of play, that sense of silliness can shift you out of chronic stress. Grounding is also an excellent way to shift out. So it basically brings you back into the present moment and back into your body if you're spiraling in your brain. So something like running cold water over your hands, or stepping outside with bare feet and standing on the grass, or noticing things around you. So 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can taste, 1 thing you can smell, things like that. Engaging the senses, grounding you back into the present moment. This helps your body register that you actually are safe and shift out of that sympathetic state. Number 3, and this is a big one for those of you who are working on building the life that you want, the life that is no longer dictated by an overactive sympathetic state, the life that is no longer built around trauma systems. Set actionable steps for your days. So here's the thing. First of all, don't be hard on yourself if you've been living in a trauma narrative. If your sympathetic nervous system has been overactivated and you find that you're falling back into old coping routines, like for me, watching too much Netflix, or maybe for you, sleeping too much, or maybe even going out and drinking too much, whatever it is, please be soft with yourself. Please be compassionate and understand that your nervous system is doing the best that it can. It's exhausted and fatigued. So you loving yourself and understanding that your body's trying to protect you is going to be a really important way to, again, downregulate. You can't get into parasympathetic by being mad at yourself. That's just going to keep you more activated and more in your sympathetic nervous system. So give yourself that softness. Notice if you're feeling fatigued, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling overwhelmed, and recognize that this is a process. So set actionable goals for yourself. I do this every day. I have at least 1 or 2 goals that I know are aligned with my long-term vision. I know that I'm going to get those done. Once those are done, it's like this sense of, okay, the day happened. I moved the ball forward. Some days you don't have the same amount of energy. You might be hormonal. You might be dealing with a crisis. My car just got totaled. I spent so much of this week signing away my brand new car because it got totaled. I had to go to a lawyer's office. I had to go to the auto body shop. I had to be on the phone with the insurance company. All of that was exhausting. But I had a couple actionable steps that I'd set up for myself that I knew I could check mark, so that I knew I was still on track while making room for myself to process a challenge, because challenges are going to arise. Here's the other thing. I set myself up for success on Sundays. So every Sunday, I go get a little matcha, I hang out with myself, I take an hour or 2 at a coffee shop, and I look at my entire week ahead. I look at my emails, I look at my texts, I bring my notebook, I bring my iCal, and I put everything together. It's like this really fun game of scheduling Tetris, and I look out at the week ahead. What are the things that I know I have to do? When am I teaching yoga? When am I recording? When am I designing? When am I doing photo or video? When am I doing art? When am I modeling? Etc., etc., etc. I look at all of it and I set it all up for myself, and I'm reasonable about it. So I used to go ham and be like, then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. And I set myself up for failure. I would feel bad if I didn't get all those things done. Now it's like 1 or 2 things on Monday. Boom, get that done. Give it the time it takes. If you get to 3 or 4, wow, go you, you're a queen. But you got to that 1 or 2. That's reasonable. Give yourself a reasonable goal because, babe, Slow and steady wins the race. Don't burn yourself out on Monday and then fall apart Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and try to pick it back up Friday. There's no point. So set actionable, measurable goals. Make them reasonable goals. Do not overextend yourself and be proud of the progress that you're making. Try these things. Understand your nervous system, engage with your body, learn how to shift out of dysregulated and back into regulated, and set those goals. And know that by the end of a period of time, you will be living physically in your body the way that you want to be. Know that after a period of time, you will feel at home in your body, at home in your process through great days and through challenging days. And you will be living the life that you have wanted to live, not just in photographs, but actually in your system as well. You got this. Give it a try. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And I will see you in the next video.